So today we'll be looking at how whiteboards and taskboards interact. So how you can create a whiteboard, use it for visualizing, your goals and your ideas, and how you move from there to create tasks. And there's a few different ways of doing that. So we'll be exploring that today. So we're starting off on our homepage. What we're going to do first is create a new whiteboard. So to do that, simply click Create Whiteboard. If you're anywhere else in the app, so maybe you've been mind mapping or working your task boards, just click Home and it will take you back to this screen. So just click Create Whiteboard. So what I'm going to do today is use a template to get started. So, if you're completely new to whiteboards and you're not quite sure where to begin, a template is a great way to begin. So I'm going to use the Smart Goals canvas, click Create Whiteboard. So here you can name your whiteboard and add a description, but right down here at the bottom, you can see create corresponding task board. So what this will do is make a brand new task board and automatically link it to this whiteboard. And what this is going to allow us to do is drop in tasks to that task board from the whiteboard that we're working in. And even before, I've even looked at this task board, I can already choose a template. So when I do start adding tasks to it, it will be a lot quicker. So I've got my name, I've got my description. I've already chosen a template for my whiteboard. I've even chosen a template for the task board that I'm connecting. So now I just click Create Whiteboard. This will create a new whiteboard based on the template that I've chosen. So the templates that I was looking at, they are available to all of our users, regardless of whether you are on free, pro, or ultimate. You can see here, I've got your different sections, different titles and sticky notes already here. So perhaps you've been working on your whiteboard for a little bit of time and now you are ready to start actioning different ideas and turning them into tasks. So what that means in whiteboards is that any sticky notes that you have, you'll be able to turn them into a task. And I'm just going to show you how you add a sticky note. So if you click here, this opens up the sticky note menu. You've got a few different colors and shapes to choose from. Once you've chosen your shape and color, just drag and drop it onto your board. I'm just going to scroll in so you can read it. So we're going to name this there. So we've got a sticky note that we can add. And you can add as many sticky notes to your whiteboard as you want, as long as you've got Pro or Ultimate. Now, if I want to turn this sticky note into a task, if I just click on the taskbar, which is right down the bottom, you can see that that task board that we created earlier, as we were creating the whiteboard, is already here down at the bottom waiting for you. So these sections here are your categories. So on your task board, that's how you organize your tasks. And it's in here where we would need to drop in our sticky notes. So to do that, we've got two different ways that we can drop it in. So if you like the feeling of, just dragging and dropping, you can do that. So I'm just going to zoom in a bit more so you can really see this icon. So it's this icon that you want to drag and drop. So just click, drag, and just drop it in. You can see that a new task has been added into this category from that sticky note. And I'm not limited to just adding it once, so I can drop this into other categories as well if I want to. So perhaps it's a task that might need to be repeated, or maybe assigned to multiple people. You can do that. So I'm just going to edit one of these existing sticky notes. Got another sticky note here. You see if I hover over, I've got that icon again. But if you don't want to drag and drop, perhaps you want to have a little bit more control. If you click on that icon, it brings down a drop-down menu, which shows all the categories in that task board. And to add the sticky note as a task to any categories, just click on it. You can see that one task has been added. And again, you can do that and add it to multiple different categories. So that is how you would add a sticky note as a task to an existing task board. So this is a task board that we created earlier using a template, and I'm just going to show you what this now looks like now that we started adding tasks. So right down the bottom, you can see there's a little icon that says to task board. And if I click on that, that just takes me straight there. And that template we've used earlier has set out categories all ready for me to use. And you can see that the tasks that I created by dropping those sticky notes in are already here, ready for me to edit. And I can quickly jump back to that whiteboard to continue working on it. So I'm not just limited to that first task board that we made. You know, if you've got another task board that you want to add to, what you can do, if you click on here and click X next to that task board, that closes it, and you can attach a different task board just by clicking on it. And you can see that that's brought up another selection of categories. And I can now do exactly the same thing, just drag and drop. Or use the drop-down menu to add the task there. And it's that easy. I can switch between any task boards that I'm working on and drop tasks from my whiteboard there. If I click off it all completely, oh, give me a moment. Go. So I can even create a new board from this whiteboard as well. So if I click there, I get that menu that I had in the beginning. I can even invite people at this point as well. And I can create a new task board. So this is a brand new task board, and you can see at the moment we don't have any categories. You'll need to add the categories before you can start adding tasks. So to add a category, just click the plus here. Oh, bear with me a moment. Not quite sure what's happened there. Just going to refresh my page. Bear with me just a moment. That might have been my connection. There we go. Okay, so I've gone back to that taskbar. And if I click on the plus, not quite sure why that's not working. So I will show you how to do that in a different task board. Just bear with me. There we go. So on this task board, if you click the plus, I'm not quite sure why that isn't working for me. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to skip to a different feature all together, and I will come back to that in a bit. So what I will show you how to do next is how you can export sections of your whiteboard to create new task boards. So for example, I'm going to use this task board over here as it's one where I've got quite a bit of content already set up. And you don't have to just export the entire task board. You can pick and choose sections to export as well. Okay, so this is one I've done earlier. So if you are familiar with whiteboards by this point, you can see we've got different sections. I've got various sticky notes around the whiteboard. And if I get to the point where I think, actually, I don't want to spend time just dropping in every single sticky note to this taskbar, I just want to convert the entire whiteboard into a taskboard. You can do that. So if you click up to this menu right at the top here, you can see there's a button here that says Export as Taskboard. So when you get to this section, you've got two options. So you can either create a completely brand new taskboard, or if you've got an existing taskboard where you think that this content will really fit, you can choose to just add it there. So I'm going to start off by adding it to a new taskboard. And what it will do now, it will export entirely new taskboard, and the name of the taskboard will be the same as the whiteboard. But once we've got it open, I'll show you what it looks like. So as I mentioned, you're not limited to just exporting the entire whiteboard. If there are just little bits and pieces, so like you want to do it a section at a time, you can do that as well. So just while I'm waiting for that to export, I'll show you where you get to the menu on the sections as well. So if you click on the three-dot menu, you can see you've got the same option here. So you can click Export as Taskboard, and then it will export just these sections. Okay, don't seem to be having much luck today, do I? Right, I will try that again in a second. I think I'm having technical issues on my laptop. So I'm just going to give that a moment. I'll export the section instead. So as I mentioned, just click on the three-dot menu and click as Export as Taskboard. There we go. Okay, so if I click open, that will help me skip straight to that taskboard. You can see that it's created an entire category, and all the items that were inside that section have been added as tasks. So whether there were images, they've been added as attachments. And if I had any documents, they've also been added as attachments. Okay, so I'm just going to try again just to show you how to export the whole whiteboard as a taskboard. So if you go to this menu, click Export as Taskboard and click New Taskboard, that will start the export. So what you can also do, so if you want to link a taskboard, but you don't actually need to drag and drop items in, you can also create shortcuts to different taskboards. And that feature is available on the toolbar right here. So this will give you a list of all the different whiteboards, taskboards, and mind maps that you have. What you can do is just drag and drop shortcuts to those task boards onto your whiteboard so that you can easily drop in and view them. So for example, I'm just going to drag and drop. And that adds a link straight in there. So if I just click open taskboard, that will help me skip straight through it. So let's say that you've got a sticky note or some images that reference maybe something else you're working on. You can drop the link to the taskboard or mind map or even a different whiteboard straight on there, so you can quickly navigate to it at any point. Okay, I'm not quite sure why that's taking so long. So whilst that's going, what I'm going to do now is just ask you if you've got any questions about the features that I've showed you so far, how whiteboards and taskboards interact, or if there's anything you would like me to go over again. Finally, I knew if I changed topic, it would open. There we go. I do apologize. I think I am having some internet issues. There we go. So now you can see that the whiteboard that we created earlier has now been converted into a taskboard. So the different sections have been converted as categories, with the different sticky notes and items have been converted into tasks. So any attachments that are on the whiteboard, they've been brought over as well. If they weren't in a section, then they'll show outside of the other categories. And you can start to edit and assign people to these tasks just as you would on any other new task board. Okay, so those are different ways of linking your whiteboard to task boards, different ways of creating tasks from your whiteboard. Does anyone have any questions on the features I've shown you so far, or is there anything that you would like me to go over again? Okay, so someone's asked about our legacy product. No, so iMindMap and Ayoa are two different apps. iMindMap was our legacy app. There are quite a few features in Ayoa that would be familiar to you if you've used iMindMap. We've got a mind mapping section which allows you to create mind maps. But unlike iMindMap, you can collaborate with people in real time. And it's really easy to access your mind maps from wherever you are. But no, that they're not the same app. So there are different features. Whiteboards wasn't in iMindMap, and iMindMap didn't have the taskboard functionality that we have in Ayoa. Okay, so just while I'm waiting for some other questions, I'm just going to give you advice on how to find out more about Ayoa. So we've got a huge library of support guides available on support.ayoa.com. And that covers all the different platforms, including iOS and Android. On YouTube, we've got recordings of our previous webinars. So if you're interested in finding out more about mind mapping or task boards, we've got feature focused webinars there as well. Oh, we've got another question. Does the app on the phone sync with the web version? Yes, Ayoa is completely cloud-based. So once you've logged into your account, you'll be able to access all the different boards that you've created. So at the moment, mind maps and task boards are fully supported on iOS and Android, and we're working on making whiteboards available on the mobile apps as well. But yes, it automatically syncs. There's nothing you need to do manually. It's all done automatically. Yes, Ayoa is cloud-based. The version that I'm using right now is the web app. So that will be dependent on your internet connection. We also have a desktop app, and while you will need the internet to sync your maps because nothing's saved locally, it will allow you to work offline for a short amount of time. Let's say, if you're maybe between places, let's say on the train or something like that. Okay, so just while I'm waiting for more questions, if there is anything else that you wanted to ask us today that you don't maybe feel comfortable asking us over the webinar, or perhaps you need something in more detail, you can contact us at support@ayoa.com. We do the webinars on a weekly basis. Next week, it will be about time-saving tips, so little tips and tricks on how to get information down more quickly and how to use Ayoa more speedily. And then the following week, on the 27th of January, we'll be doing Getting Started in Ayoa, and that's when we do an overview of the main features, so whiteboards, mind maps, and task boards, and to give you a little bit of help in getting started and getting your head around Ayoa. Okay, does anyone have any questions about whiteboards or creating tasks in whiteboards? Okay, it doesn't look like anyone else has any more questions. But if there's anything that comes to you after this webinar ends, you can just pop us an email at support@ayoa.com and we would be delighted to help. Oh, okay. I couldn't find a desktop app for Mac. No, that's on our website. So if you go to ayoa.com, if you go straight down to the bottom of the page, like think of the footer, you'll see download links for all of our platforms, including Mac, and of course you can use the web app on Mac as well. So there's a desktop app especially for Mac, and the web app can be used on pretty much all laptops. And yep, this is the details of the webinars. You can sign up to that on our website. And even if you can't attend on the day, by signing up for it, it means that you'll get that email the day after the webinar with the video recording. So for the person who's just asked about the desktop app, I'm just finding the links for you now. Oh, brilliant, you found it. Okay, yeah, so for anyone else, if you're looking for any download apps, perhaps links to the mobile apps, if you go to ayoa.com/apps, you'll find the list of all the different apps available. Brilliant. Okay, is there anything else that I can help you with, or any other questions that you have? I'd recommend giving Ayoa a go. We are the same people who created iMindMap. But if you contact us at support@ayoa.com, maybe give us a bit more information about what functionality it was you were looking for, and we'd be able to advise you, how to use Ayoa to help you with that. Question about Ayoa. So Ayoa was officially released in June 2019. However, it is a improved version of our previous app, DropTask, which we had been running for quite a few years, I think since 2014. So Ayoa itself is coming up to 2 years old now, but actually the work behind it has existed for many, many, many years now. We've got over a decade in experience in creating mind mapping apps, so this isn't something that's new to us. Oh, I'd be happy to pass that lovely feedback along to him. We're still supporting iMindMap 11. but we're not currently selling it, as we are just really focusing on Ayoa and just making it the best that it can be. But if you're a previous iMindMap user and you still need a bit of help and guidance with using iMindMap, you can still contact our team, and we'd still be delighted to help you. Brilliant. Okay. Well, I really hope that this session was helpful. I'm sorry for the few technical issues that I've experienced today. But if there's any other questions you have after this session, please just drop me an email at support@ayoa.com and I'd be delighted to help you. Thank you very much for your time, and I really hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.